The Buddhist attitude to the natural world is kind of a gentle one, I would say, but it's not really in a way where we should first of all start to look. Buddhism says that we should start to look into the mind itself, because it's from there that our actions and way of interacting with the world, the natural world itself, the environment, stems from there, from whether there's balance and harmony within our mind, or whether we're agitated by the disturbing emotions. Then, if we check that, then we will behave in a way that is kind of relaxed and harmonious with the world. We won't try to bend it to our ambitions or our desires or kind of exploitation. We'll have a gentleness to it. But you see, what I'm trying to say is that, what I'm trying to get at is, in Buddhism, the world reflects us, and we likewise, in a way, reflect the world. There's a kind of interaction between us and the apparently external world, because in fact, the whole source of problems that occur in our way of treating the world is because of a kind of dualistic sense that we are somehow entirely apart from, separate, standing against or independent of the world, whereas in fact we're all, in a way, continuously interacting and interdependent, inner on outer, outer on inner. So if we think of kind of some of the attitudes that we've inherited in the modern world, some are kind of unhelpful, because the attitude, for instance, that the world was made for us to serve us, the world was made for us to plunder and exploit, that just reflects in a way the kind of those neurotic emotions of greed and desire that I referenced. So I think as we see them for as damaging as they really are, we'll tone down, we'll dissolve those attitudes, and therefore we can't help but kind of tread more lightly in the world with the world. And yet at the same time, it's not that we worship the world. We're not kind of like pantheists or people who think that the natural world is more important than the human beings and other sentient beings within it. We think that it is the sentient being who has the capacity to develop compassion and wisdom, not material things themselves. So that's why in the Buddhist teachings, there's not actually, in the traditional scriptures, there's not actually much said about the natural world. There's no kind of theory of the natural world. Precisely, I suppose, because we don't think the world was created by any supreme being, any kind of God. So there's no kind of Christian or post-Christian sense of nature or the world as kind of God's creation or some kind of quasi kind of divine entity in its own right. So that's why we might feel that in nature there are kind of spiritual energies, spiritual forces. Perhaps they're the ones that traditional religions in different parts of the world have kind of picked up on and so on. But even if there are such kind of spiritual energies or forces in the world, they still are part of samsara for us. If we use the kind of Indian kind of mythology of the gods of the 10 directions and so on, the Vedic gods like Indra and Brahma, they're just, from a Buddhist point of view, also samsaric. They may have a temporary little bit more power, a little bit more status, but they can't save us from anything. They can't eliminate the cause of suffering in our own mind, in our own heart. That has to be done by ourselves alone. So therefore there's a kind of, we might say, a kind of respect for the natural world that's kind of represented by paying respect to such worldly spirits, but it's not really at the heart of our practice. It's not really the heart of the Buddha's Dharma. So, all in all, I'd say that if we practice the Buddha's teaching, we cannot help but change in a way we, as I put it, live in the world and interact with the world. But at the same time, we certainly are not kind of thinking that nature is supreme and that therefore human beings are a kind of danger or cancer in the world, as some people sometimes rather over-dramatically say. In fact, of course, it's only human beings who have the agency to think about how to behave responsibly and in harmony with the natural world. So it's something like that. I would say is the Buddhist attitude to the environment, a kind of respect for it, as a support system for sentient beings. For instance, the fact that the environment, the world, has to support all of us humans, all of us animals, and so on, and that we need to therefore be mindful and responsible and gentle and generous in our way of being in the world. So there's a kind of harmony that best expresses the sense of needing harmony with the world and care in the world, that best expresses the Buddhist rather gentle and non-ideological approach to the environment.